Hi dear fans, friends and subscribers, this is your host Ram welcoming you to your regular edition of the Cricket Happening Show. Well, on this Cricket Happening Show, what we are going to look at is Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh. Today was the fourth day, so the match is really well poised right now. In fact, today the Zimbabwe couldn't continue their good work. In fact, as I said yesterday, they were very well placed at 331 for 5 after recovering from 189 for 5. But today, the Zimbabwean innings was quickly wound up by Chakabva 5 wickets, and they were all out for 368, thus conceding a 66-run lead to Bangladesh. And Bangladesh finished off at 201 for 5 at close of play on the fourth day. So they are 266 ahead. It would be very interesting to see what is Bangladesh's approach tomorrow. I think they have nothing to lose. They probably have to score some quick runs and put the pressure on Zimbabwe and see whether they can bowl out Zimbabwe because they already 1-0 in the series. So that is something that we will have a look at. And as far as the second one-day international was concerned today, which was played at the Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad, which was a flat surface over there, where India romped on to a victory over Sri Lanka to take a 2-0 lead in the one-day series by winning the match by 6 wickets. Ambati Rayudu, who was promoted in the batting order today, coming in at 1 drop ahead of Virat Kohli, went on to score an unbeaten century to take the team to victory. Not only that, he played superbly for his win, and this was his maiden one-day international century. But first, let me head off towards the Bangladesh versus Zimbabwe game. Where I said Zimbabwe, yesterday they had recovered from 189 for 5 to 331. They started at the overnight score, but the only thing that one could speak about today was Chakabva. Chakabva, in fact, was running out of partners because today Hamilton Masakadza was consumed early by Chakabva as he actually clean bowled him for 158 with 17 fours and 2 sixes. The partnership was brought to an end finally at 336, so 148 run partnership for the 6th wicket. But after that, the Zimbabwean innings totally went down with the lower order not able to really contribute anything. Malcolm Waller was out too. Shakib Al Hasan was the one who did the damage. He was out for 6. Rubel Hasan picked up 2 wickets by knocking off getting Tendai Chatara caught and bowled for a duck, and Mashangwe, the leg spinner, was also out to Rubel Hasan for a duck. And then suddenly the pressure was on Chakabva because Chakabva was nearing a century and he had to wait for 10 overs to get to that century. Luckily for him, Dinesh Panyangra, the number 11 batsman, really provided some solid support. In fact, if you look at Dinesh Panyangra, he consumed 51 balls and scored only 1 run while at the crease. So that was to support Chakabva, and Chakabva would really like to thank Dinesh Panyangra, the number 11 batsman, to put up some stout resistance against the Bangladeshi bowlers. And it was very good to see that Rajesh Chakabva finally registered his maiden one-day international century of 101 with 13 fours, and finally was LBW bowled Taijul Islam for 101. Dinesh Panyangra was not out on one of after consuming 21 balls. Sorry, it was 21 balls. I'm sorry, it was not 51 balls. 21 balls to score 1 run. Well, the bowling, I can only say, let's look at Shakib Al Hasan's figures, who bowled brilliantly. He had 41 overs, 11 minutes, 80 runs and 5 wickets. So Shakib Al Hasan was the man who was the record-in-chief there. As far as Bangladesh were concerned, well, they got a lead of 66 runs today. They started off with that 66 runs lead, and today it all started with the partners, openers Tamim Iqbal and Shamsur Rahman putting on 28 for the first wicket before Tamim Iqbal was a victim of Panyangra, as he was caught and bowled by Panyangra for 20 of 4 fours. Shamsur Rahman made 23 of 4 fours. That was the time when 2 quick wickets fell with Waller. Actually it was Shamsur Rahman who fell to Waller for 23 with 4 fours, and then Mominul Haq combined with Mahmudullah to really arrest the in the sense really give some stability to this Bangladeshi innings by taking the score on to 131, with Mominul Haq playing some very good strokes, and also Mahmudullah showing some real aggression in his strokes. He made 63, and when the score reached 131, that was the time Waller came and picked up 2 wickets of 2 balls in the same over. or 2 wickets of 3 balls in the same over, as he first dismissed Mominul Haq for 54 with 6 fours, and then the captain Mushfiqur Rahim was a victim of Waller for duck, and that enabled Waller to have 3 wickets in his bag for 90 runs. In fact, he had 4 wickets. In fact, the 5 wickets that fell for Bangladesh, out of that 4 wickets were captured by Malcolm Waller, and then it was Shogata whom was not out on 23 at close of play, and Mahmudullah was still there unconquered on 63 with 7 fours, and as I said, 201 for 5 was the final tally for Bangladesh at the end of the 4th day. So that means it is they are 66 ahead, so 267. So as I said, the final day's play is going to be very interesting. Bangladesh have nothing to lose. They've already won the first test match. I'm sure Mushfiqur Rahim, being an aggressive captain, would definitely love to declare, probably pick up some quick runs in the morning on the 5th day, on the final day, and put the pressure right on Zimbabwe to see whether Zimbabwe can wriggle out of such a situation. Or Zimbabwe probably takes the bait and goes for some runs. So it will be interesting to see. Probably, definitely Zimbabwe will be chasing in excess of 300 tomorrow for sure. Well, as far as the bowling was concerned, Malcolm Waller was the one who really bowled excellently. 21 overs, 4 maidens, 48 runs and 4 wickets to Malcolm Waller. Chigumbra none for 13, Panyangra 1 for 34, Chatara none for 19, none for 22 for Raza, none for 57 Mashangwe. So that is as far as the Zimbabwe-Bangladesh. But as I said, the Zimbabwe-Bangladesh match is really well poised now going into the final day. It would be interesting to see when Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladeshi captain, declares and sets Zimbabwe a target. So that would be pretty interesting. Now let's head on to the second one-day international of the series between Sri Lanka and India, which was played at the Sardar Patel Stadium, Motera in Ahmedabad. It was Sri Lanka who actually batted first, and Sri Lanka didn't have a good start as Umesh Yadav, bowling with some serious pace, actually had Kushal Perera LBW for duck of the final delivery of his first over. So that was 4 for 1 for Sri Lanka, and then Dilshan was along with Sangakkara. Now Sangakkara was not looking pretty convincing at the crease. He was really struggling with his timing today. Dilshan, well, he bided his time. In fact, Dilshan played aggressively, but again one did not see some real movement there. The reason being that Umesh Yadav and Ishan Sharma were bowling the right line and lengths, and it was definitely I would say keeping the batsman guessing at times. And as I said, both Dilshan and Sangakkara could not get the timing right, but Dilshan briefly flourished by spanking some boundaries, and then finally it was a slider delivery coming in from the young left-arm spinner Akshar Patel, which had Dilshan opening up a bat and pad gap, and that went on to hit the stumps. He was gone. Dilshan was gone. Bowled Patel for 35 with 7 fours. It made the score 55 for 2. And then Mahela Jayawardene was a victim of the bowling Ravichandran Ashwin for 4. And suddenly the Sri Lankan innings was looking in a bit of trouble at 64 for 3 in the 14th over. And then the slide was arrested when Kumar Sangakkara got a partner. He was partnering the Sri Lankan captain Angelo Matthews, who, as you know, the stats say today that he has been the highest. He has got the highest runs in 2014, and one would probably think that Angelo Matthews would be a prime contender for that spot in the ICC Cricketer of the Year. And Sangakkara and Matthews combined, and then slowly, as I said, they arrested the slide, but it was pretty slow going. They had to really resuscitate the Sri Lankan innings, which was done in fine fashion by Kumar Sangakkara and Angelo Matthews. Kumar Sangakkara, as I said, was not looking convincing today, but Angelo Matthews was really playing in the way that he plays, really having a good look at the bowling, and then also unveiling some strokes at times, and that enabled them to put on a partnership of 90 good runs for the 4th wicket, which really lent some stability to the Sri Lankan innings, and that was the time Umesh Yadav actually dismissed Sangakkara for 61 of 86 balls with 4 fours. And then Angelo Matthews was the only one. After that, it was Angelo Matthews could not get any support from any of the other batsmen, as Sekugi Prasanna was a victim of Jadeja for 13, 1-4 and 1-6. Priyanjan was run out. It was a misunderstanding. Probably Angelo Matthews thought there is a second run in that, but unfortunately there was no second run in that. and Priyanjan was the victim. Run out for 1. After that, Tisra Pereira was bowled by Akshar Patel for 10 with 1 second. Ranade was bowled by Ashwin for 10. And then suddenly 220 for 8. But Angelo Matthews was still there at the crease, and he was joined in by the number 10 batsman Damika Prasad. And then from 220 for 8, I thought the Indian death bowling was something which has to be commended. They really kept things tight, and probably for Angelo Matthews the question was to play off the full 50 overs, so that was the precise reason they were a bit quiet, but it was not easy to score off. And then Damika Prasad showing some good innovative strokes here by stroking an unbeaten 30, and that was the precise reason the 54-run partnership between Angelo Matthews, who was not out on 92 of 101 balls with 10 fours and 1 6. So one feels pretty sad for Angelo Matthews that Angelo Matthews has not yet scored. He has played 135 one-day internationals, and he has not even scored his maiden one-day international century. But well, one really feels sorry for Angelo Matthews, but that was the case, unfortunately. Angelo Matthews truly deserved a century. He was not out on 92. Damika Prasad played a good hand, contributing an unbeaten 30 of 28 balls with 4 fours, and that enabled Sri Lanka to post 274 for 8 of their 50 overs. As far as the bowling was concerned, Umesh Yadav and Ishan Sharma really bowled pretty well, even though their figures don't reflect. 10 overs, 1 maiden, 54 runs and 2 wickets for Umesh Yadav. Ishan Sharma, 10 overs, no maiden, none for 58. Ashwin, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 49. Akshar Patel continued to impress, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 39 runs and 2 wickets. But Ravindra Jadeja was the most costliest of the lot, 10 overs, giving away 64 runs. He was drafted into the side today, as you know. As far as India were concerned, India also did not have a good start, unlike the Sri Lankan openers, as Ajinkya Rahane was an early victim, as he was caught by Jayawardene of the bowling of Prasad for 8 of 19 balls with 1 4. It made the score 18 for 1 in the 7th over. But after that, it was pretty tough going for the Sri Lankan bowlers, as Shikhar Dhawan, who was actually had not hit a boundary for almost 44 balls, suddenly started exploding into action by spanking boundaries. And Ambati Rayudu today was actually promoted in the batting order by the Indian captain Virat Kohli, and what a master move that was, because Ambati Rayudu had a lot of time at the crease. He bided his time, but what was good about Ambati Rayudu was he continued to play his strokes. And the one thing about Ambati Rayudu one should know, that he is always never afraid to hit over the top, and we saw his very good use of the feet to the spinners, and whenever he hits it, he hits it pretty clean and pretty straight, and that's what one saw with Ambati Rayudu. Dhawan, as I said, was looking pretty imperious in his strokes. Some of his strokes were simply stupendous strokes that Shikhar Dhawan played. There was some effortlessness in the stroke making that he did, and he and Ambati Rayudu took the score, started taking the Sri Lankan attack with the scruff of the neck when they took the score to 140 in the 27th over. But then Shikhar Dhawan, after doing a very good job of contributing 79 of 80 balls with 7 fours and 1 6, was gone, as he attempted a sweep stroke of the bowling of Sekugya Prasanna, and Priyanjan was the man who was into business taking the catch. So he was gone for 79. That was 140 for 2. After that, Ambati Rayudu was stroking the ball sweetly and freely at that particular juncture. Virat Kohli, the Indian captain, joined him. Virat Kohli was into business by nurdling the runs and also hitting some very good boundaries and sixes of the spinners. And Ambati Rayudu, as I said, is a pretty good player of spin. He definitely went after the spinners in his own way. And Ambati Rayudu, in the company of Virat Kohli, went on to collect his maiden one-day international century. He came in as one drop, and today he really showed that posting, that the slot that was given to him by Virat Kohli was completely justified by contributing, getting to his maiden one-day international century. And today when I saw him, Ambati Rayudu, batting, I definitely realized that this is going to be Ambati Rayudu's day, and I was thinking that Ambati Rayudu will get to his maiden one-day international century, because such was his control over the Sri Lankan bowlers. And today Ambati Rayudu definitely proved a point by contributing an unbeaten 121 of 118 balls with 10 fours and 4 sixes, and Indian victory was there in the 45th over thanks to Ambati Rayudu. Suresh Raina was LBW bowled Prasanna for 14. Kohli contributing 49 of 44 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes. Jadeja was not out on 1, and India were into their target in the 45th over by winning by 6 wickets. As far as the bowling was concerned, Angelo Matthews, one was wondering that why he didn't bowl his full quota. Probably was injured, because we definitely saw Mahela Jayawardene into action today as a captain. Angelo Matthews, I thought, bowled well, 4 overs, no maiden, none for 18. But the most impressive bowler, according to me, was the pace bowler Gamage, who bowled superbly, I thought. Look at his bowling figures: 8 overs, 1 maiden, none for 28. Pretty tight bowling from Gamage, and Gamage is definitely learning from his experience now, I suppose. Damika Prasad was costly, 1 for 51 for him. Thisara Pereira, 4 overs, none for 35. The spinners definitely came for some tap, especially Ambati Rayudu and Shikhar Dhawan, really giving them some real caning. With Suresh Randewe leaking 66 runs of his 10 overs. Dilshan 2 overs for 9 runs, 7.3 overs, no maidens, and 53 runs and 3 wickets for Sekubge Prasanna, 2 overs for 14 for Priyanjan, and that was it as far as this particular match was concerned. Ambati Rayudu took away the man of the match for his brilliant stroke making, for getting to his maiden one-day international century, and I'm sure Ambati Rayudu is a talented cricketer and is promising some greater things to come from his bat in the future. Well, as far as and as I said, India took a 2-0 lead in the 5-match series now, and for Sri Lanka now the pressure is right on them, because the third one-day international is something that they definitely have to win, otherwise India will be walking away with the series. And also there is going to be the second T20 match which is coming up between South Africa and Australia. That is coming up tomorrow. Well, dear fan subscribers, it's time to actually wind up on my Cricket Happening show. Well, thanks for your company and thanks for your regular support to the Cricket Happening show. Your host Ram will be seeing you tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.